This is how to update your BIOS without a CPU, GPU, RAM, or storage device using BIOS Flashback. During my most recent build, I decided to get one of the new i7 13th gen processors, but the motherboard that I bought was a ROG Strix B660. Since this is a 12th gen motherboard, I had to update the BIOS before I could use a 13th gen processor. The thing was, I didn't have a 12th gen processor to use to update the BIOS with, so I had to learn how to use USB BIOS Flashback. Pretty much every motherboard manufacturer released a statement letting us know which boards would support Intel 13th gen. If you're not sure, you can check your manufacturer's website, and usually, at least for Asus, there is a CPU support list, or you can just check your manual. Your manual will also have all of the BIOS flashback information if your board has it. Assuming it does have it, the first thing you're going to need is at least an 8GB USB flash drive. Next, you're going to need to format this USB stick to FAT32. Then after that, you're going to want to go to the specific product page for your motherboard and download the BIOS that supports the CPU you'll be using. For my motherboard, it actually says that it supports my CPU in the BIOS description. It also lets me know what the file will need to be named for BIOS Flashback. Download this and wait for it to finish, and then go and extract it. Once it's extracted, go and look at the contents. For Asus, you're going to have two files, the actual BIOS update and a program called BIOS Rename. It is very important to have the BIOS named correctly or it will not work when you go to update. You can see here that my CAP file or my BIOS file is currently named incorrectly. It's a really long name and it shouldn't be like that. To fix that, what we need to do is run BIOS Rename. I am speaking only for Asus motherboards at this point, but I'm sure that your motherboard's process is very similar. Once BIOS Rename is open, follow the steps, let it run, and let it do its thing. Voila, you can see it rename my BIOS to a very short little code. Next, you're going to want to transfer that file, just the BIOS file, over to the USB stick. And once you have it copied over, you're ready to go. If your motherboard is already in your computer, you don't have to worry about anything, just make sure it has power going to it. But if it isn't, you're just going to have to hook up the ATX power cables. Make sure to read your manual, because it will have the directions clearly written out on how to do this. Find the correct BIOS USB port, and then locate the BIOS flashback button. For Asus, you have to hold this button down for 3 seconds until it starts blinking. Then, if it is properly blinking, you just have to let it do its update. It may take a few minutes, it took about 3 or 4 minutes for me.
Oh.
Yeah. Alright, we updated the BIOS. Alright, means we're ready to install our fucking CPU. Yeah, alright. And it's as easy as that. Thank you so much for watching. Please follow Silent Coyote Creations for more techie goodness. See you soon. Meow.